Hello, everyone. Coming to you again with another message. Last night, I was listening to a podcast that I believe it was Blue Pill was on, giving a wonderful dissertation about the state of Black people here in America, the descendants of American slaves. And unless otherwise stated, when I say Black people, that's who I'm basically referring to, is descendants of American slaves, because we are so central to what is happening in this country and in this world. So there are so many things that he talked about that are relevant to what's going on in the world today. But the one thing that piqued my interest was in lieu of our fight as a people against white supremacy and white supremacists in high places and in every place, actually. And how, if I'm reading his statement and his stance on it correctly, is how our response has been so lackluster or dismal that we're now relying upon 3I Atlas to save us. He goes through certain things that we have done in the past, but it is almost as if it has dismissed it, or that he dismissed it by saying that we're now reduced to lying on an unidentified object. And what I want to say is that would be a very powerful statement if you were to take the spiritual nature of what it has happened to us, what is happening to us, and what will happen. First and foremost, I think no one can deny that without any real combative weaponry, we have put on one of the most transformative fights that any people who in the history of the world who have been literally disarmed completely up against a mighty foe that is well armed, well organized, and is undergirded by a spiritual force that had been given the keys to rule, or not the keys, I would say had been given the opportunity to rule the planet as he saw fit. And that supernatural being was, is, and will always be our enemy. Since we are the chosen people of the Creator of the universe, what that means is that our existence is due to the Creator's own hands fashioning us into being. Everybody else has been birthed. Everybody else has been birthed through us. But we were created. That is what makes us different than all other human beings that now walk this planet. And so the circumstances are quite unusual, as it states in the Bible, that we were war not with flesh and blood, but with prince and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So we have to understand that whatever defense or whatever combat that needs to take place would have to come in conjunction, if not by and through our Heavenly Creator. And so 3I Atlas in that vein is apropos and pivotal and a cornerstone of what is happening today. Why? Because we have done everything we could possibly do as a disarmed people, as a people who have been made deranged, enslaved, up against people who have been given the power and anointed by the evil one to rule this nation. So one would ask this dear brother who is intellectually strong and has a heart of gold and has expressed a sentiment that is not to be easily dismissed. And so that's not what I'm trying to do here. I am trying to give a rationale in the literal as well as in the spiritual, which is not easy to do. I mean, I think you really do have to have some type of anointing or some type of interlude with the Most High God or the angels that he or she has sent to guide us. It doesn't all come from our intellect, even though we're thinking people, and I'm definitely a thinking person. But to continue on, we have done everything that we possibly could in order to defeat our enemies and to produce a righteous kingdom. What is happening now is that it shows and proves that what is happening in the sky with 3-Eye Atlas and all the other objects that have been waiting in the heavens to receive the order from the Most High God to advance upon this planet or to this planet to deal with the enemies of not just of us, but of the Creator, him or herself. And that we should not poo-poo that or consider that defeat, because we are already a defeated people. You know, we're already defeated people, and no matter what we do, you know, which was my question when this dear brother said this in his, what seemed to be his exacerbation. What do you want us to do? What can we do? We have sent people, we tried to send people to the legislature. They now hijacked it. They send people who look like us but are not us, not even from our lineage. They don't share our history. They don't even like us. They have horrible views on us. They have the same views of us that they had when they were sending and selling us into slavery. That view has not changed, not one iota. There is no, and they saw what has happened to us, and they saw what they experienced what has happened to them in Africa, what is now called Africa, and the heart has not changed at all. So we most certainly are not going to look up with them because they don't want to have anything to do with us, and have proven that they will just come here and try to hijack for their own personal gain. And it goes a long way to explain why Africa is in the condition that it is in. We don't need to question that anymore because we know that betrayal is the central ether of Africa. And so with that, there is nothing more we can do. There is an agenda. There are plans that have been made. There is a way that the mission of the earth is now in operation. And that includes the same thing that white people have. Okay, so the white supremacists, I'm not talking about your everyday person that you see out on the streets or, you know, whatever business, little tiny business or position that they have working next to you. I'm talking about those who practice wickedness in high places, those whose names you don't know, who can walk past you and you would not even know that that was the person that set precedents to the economic systems in several countries that is sucking the people dry. You wouldn't even know that person. As a matter of fact, you probably smile and wave to them and say thank you. They'd probably be real nice to you in your face. But they have power that they leverage to have weapons from America and other places deployed upon countries and people, and destroying lives, creating the poverty and the homelessness and all kinds of suffering. Those that create chemicals and different agents that they put into the water, they put into the air, they put into food. You and I could not even really pick them out because they hide behind anonymity. So the ones that we do see, the ones like that we have seen walking into Davos, so to speak, that's the front face. But what about the people that are already on the inside that we did not see arrive, that came in through secret passages and tunnels? Huh? See, that is the people, that is the spiritual wickedness in high places. Some of them probably are demons who materialize into human form, and we gotta accept that this is what is happening. I mean, if these are the days like Noah to me, that's what God has said. These will be like the days of Noah to me, where people were eating or drinking. But let's also know that they were also interacting with these same beings, and some of them were actually creating children with them. I mean, it was on every level. And so if that is what you're going up against, and you are poor people, you're trying to make rent, you're trying to pay bills, you're trying to pay your car note, you're trying to not go into homelessness, you're dealing with any addiction issues, any mental and emotional issues, you can't deal with it properly, so you stuff it down, which then affects your body and your health, and you're dealing with your health, and then you're going to work 40, maybe sometimes 50 hours a week, you're getting low pay, you go to the doctor sees you, the insurance pays less than what you pay into each year. They pay less on the bill. You know, it's $500. They only paid $50. You're responsible for the rest, but you got to pay the insurance company like $100 and some every month. Some people every paycheck. Huh? So what can you expect black folks to do at this point? But look toward the heavens. But know that they cannot fix this, and admit that this is a problem beyond our fixing, and to ask for a supernatural force to help us in the same way that these people are utilizing a supernatural force to help them and to aid them. Do not suppose that these people are working on their own power, because they are not. There's no way that something like this can work so effectively. They have been given the secrets to this earth as allowed by the creator of the universe. And it came from the horse's mouth that these worlds were given to Satan. He said that. He told us, to him and his army, to rule. And right now what we're looking at is the close of that rule. He and the demons no longer have power to rule over this planet as I speak today in October. And so now the permission to come in and to right the wrongs is now underway. That's why these people are now calling for things to go back to antebellum slavery. that's not going to happen, because not because we're so great, but because the power in order to try to do it is not active anymore. That's been cut off. And I want us to actually see that, to see even with their words, they're not able to speak it into existence, because there are people like myself and others who are speaking something different. And now the winds of war are backing our words. Do you understand? And we're not all online, right? We're not all just rich and in high places. We don't have to be. We just have to be courageous. I know for my part, I've attempted to reach out, moved in the spirit to do so, to some of these people out there that have links and know-how. I'll just say that much. And I was driven by that through the creator of the universe, because the creator even tries to give his supposed enemies a chance to turn back from their bad ways. He gave Satan and the demons time to do that. Those that did, they went back into the heavenly realm. Those that did not, they're still here on earth with us. But he does give chances for you to turn around, and then at some point that chance is cut off, and you just got to deal with the consequences of your actions, right? So the creator of the universe has pulled their power, and this is why everything just feels different. This is why the reality in and of itself feels different. This is why, even though that this man has spoken, do you realize that if Satan and the demons had the power that they had during 100 years ago, that they would be taking us into chains right now? Do you realize that? Do you realize that they would be right now at this very moment sending us right into slavery? At this very moment, with the things that they are doing right now. Do you understand that what is taking place is behind the scenes? It is my belief that the supernatural forces have told them that our power is cut off, and they have backed away from them, or something has maybe even cut off the communication between the human aspect and the supernatural aspect. They can't communicate with them anymore. Any rituals or anything that would allow them to communicate is no longer fusing as it once was. So you're looking at human beings, white folks in particular, white supremacists, who are operating under their own schemes. And this is why why our president, or not even but the current president of the United States is sounding kind of like out there. Like his speeches are from one thing to the next. You have this Pete Hegseth, that his speech that he gave to the army was supposed to unite them under the banner of white supremacy and domination. That didn't happen. Like the power was gone even now, even with the reporters and everybody trying to report on that particular side, is just not catching. Like, people know something is off, even though they may not be able to pinpoint it. And I'm telling you, the pinpoint is that their rule is over. And so what you're looking at is a collapsing of that power, and a demonstration that it doesn't have the kinks and the locking mechanisms that it once had before. And the opening up of the restoration of the descendant of American slaves, the true Hebrew Israelites, and those of us who are going to be returned to New Jerusalem, and the keys of the kingdom to restore mankind. It will come to us first, and we need it the most out of all peoples on the planet. We need to get back into, not even to get back into, but to come to our right mind, a new heart and a new mind. And with that, once we have that, then we can restore back our confidence of ruling and understanding what that is, and building and ruling and maintaining. And it won't be long. The creator of the universe said that he or she would speed it up. And then once that happens, then we can open up the gates to everybody else and begin to heal those in those countries with our ambassadors and our emissaries to go out and then heal the other people. There is an agenda. There are steps, okay, that are already in place, and the people are already in place. We are just largely anonymous. We're not at the podium. We're not giving that podium as of yet. But with each day that comes and goes, we get closer to that point. And we are all of us moving in that direction. And those of us who are online, like Red Pill and Blue Pill and others, you can hear that if just given the power to motivate and move, that the remedies and the thoughts and the things that they have been given by the creator of the universe is going to be of tremendous help to us. And it's going to heal us. It's going to get us into our right mind, and at that point we'll be able to turn and service the world. Unfortunately, the truth is, as I keep saying, it's going to be cataclysmic. And that is the reason why we have 3-Eye Atlas. Because these people and the demons are not going to let go. I do not believe, if we're to listen to the holy text, that the great Satan is affecting anything. I believe that he is still in existence, but it seems to point that he is, when they called bound, is that he's restrained from using any powers that he has. He cannot. He could probably talk, maybe or maybe not, but as far as him being able to service the human element that is now losing or has lost their power, but is trying to maintain the order of things by reversing, going back to the past, he is unable to infuse them with that power in order to govern the earth. The earth is now no longer listening to white voices and white people. And so this is why you have with NASA recently turning down all the lights. Basically, the white people in unison are really not talking about what's giving the lowdown of what's really going on with all these objects that are in the skies. And so now we have to look at a spiritual nature. And for those of us who are getting those downloads, understand that quite possibly that 3-Eye Atlas is that part of the story of the Israelites being released from Egypt. You have the death angel. And so you have that part of that agency most likely on its way right now, to be quite honest with you. And then you have the other objects that are out there that are to help guide us, one, to our promised land, and two, they're there to ensure that we do not get harmed by what is coming next. Anyway, thank you for listening. I will talk to you again and expound more upon this. Thank you. Bye-bye.